New live video, and on this one it's going to be a concept video, and I may angry some people, and again it's won't be about bashing so much as realization that I am doing. So as some of you know, I passed my ham radio exam, and so now I'm working a little bit more on my communication module. And so the concept that I wanted to talk about is because I hear a lot on YouTube, oh yeah, pass your ham radio, pass your ham radio, pass your ham radio, and this is really one of the reason I passed it, because it seemed like, yeah, it makes sense, you know, if you want to be able to communicate and stuff and everything. But there were some things that I didn't foresee, and now that I'm kind of in the beginning of my journey, and you know, working on my plans and stuff, I'm seeing stuff, so I wanted to share some of my thoughts and some of the things that I'm kind of discovering. The main reason of communication is for the knowledge of sharing and knowledge of gathering and stuff, and which is great. And it's true that knowledge is power, but what I'm finding now, but it also is very expensive. And what I mean by that is not only expensive in time, but in gear, sorry, but in time as well, because to be a good ham radio, and I'll talk a little bit, and again, it's not for bashing the ham radio, but it's more like things that I didn't have when I started that journey. And if I had that information or the video like I'm doing right now, maybe I would have took a different path and a different thinking of it. When you pass your ham radio, you're like, okay, I have my radio, so now I need to buy gear. The thing with gear, though, which I'm discovering, is that you're limited. You need to jump almost like there's kind of a big gap. Sure, you can do a lot of stuff with handheld radios and stuff, and this is that was the thing, because based on the budget that I had and I wanted to allocate to that, that's why I wanted to do. Because if you talk about HF, you're starting the right point is about the 600 800 bucks dollars, so that's pretty high. But one thing that I didn't foresee with that is it's not just about the gear. So let's say I buy a radio, and this is kind of the issue I've been having in the last few weeks. So I have a radio. Oh, good. Okay, I'm gonna try to put this program over that. Oh, I got a Mac. Oh, that doesn't work on the Mac. So now you need to buy another something else to make it work on your Mac, or then you work, but it doesn't work effectively with this. So now your Mac cannot communicate with your radio, and so therefore, now the cable that you need, so then you need to buy another cable. So it's a few dollars here, a few dollars there that are added quite a lot on the communication. And the main point that I wanted to do initially was, what was the reason that I went into it, was so much, no, not so much to talk with people, which is very useful, but mostly the power of this knowledge that I would get is not so much from communicating with others, because I don't belong to a group or anything like this, so I'm not gonna provide movements of troops or movement of different water or supplies from camp A to camp B or something like that. So basically it's me on the move, or when should I move, or so I need that information so that I can plan that kind of things. And so it seems to me now, the route that I would, knowing now, and with the trouble I've been having with some of my fitting the gears and all the system together and stuff, and the time that it takes as well, is that I would have maybe taken the shortwave radio. And I'll link 2 videos down of during my journey of ham radio. I've been watching a lot of YouTubes and different things and different concepts, and I find like once you're finished sometime, you revisit some of your concept you saw a long time ago, and you're seeing them with other eyes and are seeing a different perspective of it. And so some of the videos are that I saw before, but now that I'm reviewing them, they have a different meaning to me. And so in the shortwave radio system, things are a little bit more steady. Like you buy your radio, you buy an antenna, and sure you can work a few programs and stuff, but usually they're free software and they're pretty easy to work, and you can do a lot of stuff. So you can do a good portion of what my goals were. Obviously, if you want to make it as a hobby and stuff, but again, the investment that you want to do, because if we want to do things for like prepping, so for example, if I compare communication to the medical part, sure, it would be better if everybody would do their EMTs and the first responder and things like that, and spend hours and hours on the communication in their first aid, so that way they'll be able to understand some of the concept that we talk about and have proper kit and stuff. But it is not. So let's say we have a 20 hours of allocated to preparing per week. Well, out of that 20 hour, you have to prep for other stuff too. You have to, work on your food and your communication and your electricity and things, or in just practicing your skills. And so everything that we do and decide has to be with the bigger picture. How much am I willing to, because the time or the money or that you're sharing with this has an impact on other part of your preparation as well. And so that's why a lot of people will do a first aid kit, a course, and have a very well first aid kit, and they want to know quick stuff and how I can do it, because it's not so much that they don't want to, it's just they're limited in what they can do. And what I'm finding now is shortwave radio is basically the first aid course, or first way talk of communication, is that it's easy. It seems to be easy. I mean, it's a hobby on itself. Like there's some people they'll have like those things, because you don't quite need. And I may be mistaken on that one, but from my understanding, you don't need a ham radio license to listen. Only need a license to talk. So for example, you can buy like all the ham radio that you need. It's just you cannot talk on them. So it's when you communicate that you need your license to. And so when it comes to shortwave radio, you can have like something like this, almost as expensive, even more expensive than some ham radio material. All you can do is a receiver, so that means you only receive, and you can have all the fancy antenna that goes with that. But you can have like a shorter thing, a little smaller thing like this, or a portable like that, or a scanner. And there's a lot of stuff you can do with that. I mean, there's a lot of information that you can track. So you can track now where the police is going, where the riots are, where the firefighters and stuff, if there's people approaching and stuff. And there's good videos down comes Gorilla about how to monitor your things. And so really the part that push us to get better at communication is not so much to talk to other people, because again, I'm not trying to bring things from point A to point B, but more about gather information so that I can take a good decision. Should I stay in? Should I go out? Where, if I'm going out, where should I not go and go? So that way, and also from an antenna point of view, they're a little bit smaller. You see, like just a long wire antenna, something like this, you can get a lot of the information. You can catch a lot of things reading about that stuff. And so it's not as expensive and implicated that you have for ham radios. Because what I'm finding now is not by trying to cheap out, because I mean the radio that I bought is very decent, but there's always something. It doesn't have the capacity that I would want. So to really have the full capacity of preparation with the radio, it seems like everything is HF. Well, HF, you're talking about big bucks. You're $1,000 minimum almost for just the rig himself, and then you need to have the antenna system that comes with it and all the other programs, and if you're gonna go into digital mode, now you need this and you need that attached to it. So you're talking about a $2,000 almost kit to start, and again, now the hours that you need to practice on knowing how to rig your things. Like I cannot even tell you how much hours I've spent now on that radio trying to understand where the buttons are and stuff. Like the manual is, you know, it's big, and there's like, if you press on this button it goes that way, and whoops, it doesn't work, and the banks, and putting the information, the frequencies inside and stuff. So there's a lot of time to it, and I think if I would have known for the information I'm trying to get to, but it's still a hobby, like a hobby, as I'm gonna join like the MCOM teams and stuff, and in my future I can see it's a good skills. That's why I took it, and I don't regret. But I think it's if I would have known what I know now a little bit in the past, maybe I would have took a different path a little bit. So hopefully that's that was my thing. Was not about bashing ham radio so much as to put some thoughts in your mind of maybe shortwave would be better for you, and depending on the time that you want to do, and the stuff. And there's a lot of information out there too, and there's people actually that's part of their hobby, that's all they do, they listen and they do shortwave radio. So anyway, that was my concept video. I'll talk to you soon.